Hey, Revolution, everybody. This is Brother Leonard, Truth Seeker, coming to you with a few minutes of truth once again. I'm still talking about John Gray, and I'm not necessarily going to belabor the point on my position on this issue, but I do have his latest rebuttal to the criticism that he has about purchasing his wife a $200,000 vehicle, uh, and how, for some weird reason, he, I guess, didn't expect the criticism or the hate. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. All right. In the video that he's going to do, and you know how I typically roll, it's going to be after what I say. Um, there are a few things that I want to point out. One of the points that he's going to make is that he says that he's not a pastor, but he is quick to tell you that he is a producer of his reality show. That says a lot to me. The other thing that I definitely want to point out is that's the first thing and the main thing I want to point out. But the other thing that I want to point out is he made an argument about where the money is coming from. Okay? So, you're going to watch this video, and to be honest with you, he makes some good arguments on why he did what he did. And I don't disagree so much about what he did. The main problem that I have is when he made the video, or not the video, but when he did the gesture, he chose to do the gesture in a public forum, basically meaning that he was out here trying to put it out here for show. That's why in the first video I said that John Gray is out here stunting on us. He's stunting, meaning that he is out here putting out this information for public consumption and for show. A lot of preachers do a lot of stuff and they spend their money on a whole lot of things, but they don't necessarily put their money, they put their stuff out here for public viewing. So when you do that, you basically do that to get the approval of the folk that you're trying to convince that this is what your doctrine is of prosperity gospel. And a lot of folk aren't falling for it anymore. Okay? Now, let me get to a few of the points that he made in the video. Point number one. He said, and I'm not necessarily quoting because I didn't write down the stuff in the video, but you'll get the gist when you hear it in the video. That he said that he is not a pastor, that he is a husband and a father first. And to be honest with you, I'm glad that you decided to prioritize your life in such a manner. I've claimed, not only on this video, but in different blog posting that I've made, whether it was on my own social media or penpreacher.com or any other ways that you've seen or seen my videos or read my blogs. From time to time, I've made that point that pastors place the role of pastor higher than the role of father and the role of husband in a lot of cases. And I find that kind of refreshing. However, in this situation, the mere fact that you said that you are not a pastor basically tells us that, at least to me, that you really do not have a heart for God's people. Because if you actually had a heart for God's people, at the same time that you would actually be considerate of the fact that you have people in your congregation who are coming there via bus pass, Uber, Lyft, in some cases taxi cab, bus, Port Authority, different means that they do not have not only the access and the wealth to it, and you're trying to say that they can aspire to it, but really it's all about the opportunity that they're not afforded in life to actually have it. That's the first thing. The fact that you're using that as an excuse now, but you're really eager to tell us that you are a producer on a reality television show tells me that being a personality or a star on a reality television show is more important than being a pastor to the relentless folk at Greenville, South Carolina. That's what it tells me. That you want to be a reality star, that you are a reality star first. That you are, well, for put it like this, that you're that your husband, father, reality star, then pastor. That's what you're telling me. And I think that a lot of folk didn't catch that, but that's why I'm bringing this up. Also, another point. You also bring up about how you tried to clarify your points that you made on that television show about how your wife birthed you and everything like that. Yeah, we understand that you tried to use this as a metaphor, but the metaphor is flawed, and people have pointed that out to you, but you still don't want to get it. I don't understand why, but you still don't want to get it. The reason why it's flawed is the fact that as a husband, you forced upon your wife to make sacrifices to benefit you. And the other way around, it should be that you should be the one making sacrifices to benefit her as her covering. That's where we have a disconnect, John Gray. All right. Third point. I made this mention on my social media, and I said, if congregants, I said this on my social media. Some of you who follow me on my own social media saw this yesterday, and I said, if congregants ask for their pastors' tax returns every year, a lot of this foolishness would stop. What I mean by that is John Gray in his video, in his rebuttal, you're going to hear him say that by no means did he use church money in the purchasing of this $200,000 Lamborghini. My question is, I want to believe that, but I have trouble believing that because when you accept a church salary, no matter how much money you think that you can do and everything like that, no matter how much you're producing of reality television show, how many books you write, blah, 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 by the mere fact that you're taking money from the church via salary, that also means that a portion of it, no matter how small or how large, but a portion of that money went to the purchasing of that said vehicle. Now, I'm not saying that I don't really care too much about his money or his finances. He is what he is what he is. He did what he do, and he does all this other stuff. But it's about the principle of accountability. You can't sit up there and tell me that you did not spend church money when you're accepting a church salary. That's something that I cannot accept, because no matter how much or how little, you putting all of this money into a pot. And out of that pot, you are drawing out money and said to sit up there and buy this vehicle. So that's why I meant to say that. And the reason why I said that on my post was, yeah, a lot of this foolishness would stop because it also brings about accountability. I'm always looking for means of trying to figure out ways to point out areas of accountability that pastors can actually use. If you are serious about this is for pastors now, because I know a lot of pastors watch this video, and I'm not trying to say that I dog all pastors. I'm just trying to help you guys, and not only help you guys, but also expose the essence of institutional church and these different things. If you were to take that motto of allowing your congregation every year when you file your tax returns to actually put up for public view your tax returns, basically showing what you have done with your money, whether it is wise or foolish, I think that having that accountability available to your congregation gives them information whether to not to choose whether or not to be your pastor or not. I'm not saying that you need to do it. I'm not saying that you should. I'm not saying that that you have to do it. It's just a mere recommendation if you're serious about being accountable to your people and being accountable to the money that has been given to you from your people, especially if you are taking and receiving money from the church via salary, offerings, love offerings, gifts, or whatever. That's all that I'm saying. Okay? And my final point, my final point of, and I think I'm going to harp it on this, is that he does make this case that he is not a pastor. John Gray, for X number of years, have been preaching at so many different churches and things like that. And when he said that to me, I honestly agree. Maybe he is not a pastor. I actually agree that most pastors that we have called pastors are not pastors. What they are paid spokesmen for a particular organization that we call church. They show up on Sunday, they give their little speech, whether it is to one group at 8 o'clock, and then another group at 10 o'clock, and then a third group at 1 o'clock, and then a fourth group or so at 7 o'clock at night. They're paid spokesmen for that organization. And to me, that is troubling. And that is the reason why the organized or institutional church is failing. We have people that are doing this as a job and not as a call. We should be looking and demanding for pastors to be pastors, meaning that when called upon, they're not scared to be in the hospital to see about a sick member, that they're not scared to be down at jail helping to bail out someone's son or daughter who got caught up in trouble. They're not scared to be, or not, willing to help out the poor, at certain points in time. That they're really there to not only just to build up that organization, but to be invested in the lives of the people more so than what they have on Sunday. I said this before. Most pastors, once you get past their leadership team and their worship leaders, cannot tell you the name of a particular parishioner that is just there, unless they are a big tither. That shouldn't be. But in our churches today, this is where we are. So as you look at this video that John Gray and his rebuttal and his criticism, this is the reason why we can offer criticism, not only just about the car. And to me, it's not about the money. It's about the fact that when needed to have real pastors, John Gray told us that he is not a pastor. This is Brother Leonard, the Truth Seeker, coming to you with a few minutes of truth. Right now, y'all can peep this John Gray mess. Revolution.
What I want to talk about here is my 8-year wedding anniversary. In my life, I've had dreams. Everybody should have dreams, things that they fight for. The reason why my wife and I wanted to have an 8-year wedding celebration is because I needed a new beginning. 8 is the number of new beginnings. I didn't know what I didn't know about marriage until I got in it. And there was this thing on Sister Circle where I was talking about my wife had more pain birthing me than our children. And people took what was metaphorical and made it literal and misconstrued it. My point was, my wife has pushed for my dreams and my vision, and she has toiled with a man who was still trying to find himself. And that carries a weight. And I wanted to honor her for how she has walked with me. I've covered her, she's covered me. Stories that I hear, and I've tried to not listen to it, but one of them is pastor buys his wife, this expensive car. First of all, it wasn't a pastor that bought the car. It was a husband that bought the car. Get that in your spirit. I'm a husband first. Don't confuse what I do with who I am. What I do is I pastor God's people. Who I am is a husband and a father, and I'll do anything to honor them. My wife has sacrificed for me. She gave me 2 kids. She's gone through a thyroidectomy. They had precancerous cells on there. People don't know what we've gone through. So it's nothing to me to bless her. What should concern people who are actually genuinely concerned is, did this man use any money from the church to do this? And the answer is no, absolutely not. And God, take my life on this live feed if I did. For those who don't know, me and my wife have a show on the Oprah Winfrey Network. We're working on season 4 right now. Shh, don't tell anybody. That's 4 seasons, okay? And I'm not an actor on it. I'm a producer of it. Get that straight. Oh, by the way, I just signed my 2nd book deal. Win From Within is out now. Go buy it. I also have other streams, and I've also been wise with my savings and investments. I'm not going into details, but the point is this. I have created and been patient my whole life for this moment. I'm 45. I'm supposed to wait till I'm 70 to live my best life. And my best life is seeing my wife happy. It's not like I'm sitting up trying to do something for me. I want my wife to be happy. And every man should be able to do whatever is in his ability to do. Nobody knows how long it took me to work, to save, to invest. I walked through making sure that my credit was right, because all of those things matter. And as long as what I do is honorable, ethical, and not illegal, nobody should worry about how I choose to bless my wife or how I choose to express my love. I don't ask you what you're driving or what you're doing. What should matter is, were any resources from the church used? And the answer is no. So that's where this story should end. Because I ain't no pastor right now. I'm a husband right now. I'm a father right now. You know what else? I'm not taking student loans out for my kids' college. I'm writing checks. Is that wrong too? Because that's a whole lot of money for where my kids are going. When we got here, we came here on faith. And let me tell you what faith is. Faith is not knowing where you're going to lay your head. We were staying in hotels. Me, my wife, my kids were staying in different hotels in Greenville for months, preaching the gospel so that everybody else could get established, because we believed in the vision. And now, for those who are asking, well, is it paid off? That's, first of all, it's none of your business, but no, it's none of your business, so I'm not going to tell you. The point is this: I was able to bless my wife. And I say that to say this: nobody sees the sacrifice, and nobody knows that this ain't a one-off thing. I've been working on that for 10 months, hoping that God would show up, and he did.
Also, guys, one more thing. This is, you can add this as a postscript to the video that I just that you just watched. Okay, he also made something that was kind of funny to me, and I wanted to say this, and I totally forgot. Please forgive me. And I know that I already said stuff for 13 or so minutes, and then now I'm going on to this thing. But he made mention that he spent a significant amount of time in hotels in this video, right? What's funny about this is that when he first said it, I thought that he was talking about he spent time being homeless or having his family homeless while early on in their life, early on in their relationship, in order to preach or whatever, and that they were living from hotel to hotel. No, this dude is actually talking about when he's in Greenville. Listen, living in hotels And this is the thing that's funny to me, is that we reported back last year, this time last year, in December of last year, you could check my videos. We reported last year and this time of this year that Ron Carpenter was making the move to San Jose, California, and that he chose John Gray to be the pastor of it's not Relentless. What was it? Not Restoration, Revival, whatever. It was some R word named church that's down there, and I failed that. Right now, it's just not coming to the top of my head. Redemption Church. That's it. Redemption Church in Greenville, South Carolina, to be the pastor there, that they were to be moving in and becoming pastor in May of 2018. So you mean to tell me that you have 6 months not to secure your own place of residence in Greenville, South Carolina, that you're sitting up here telling us like it's some sob struggle story to be in hotels where you have a free continental breakfast, probably free parking, a pool, free Wi-Fi, and all these other amenities in the hotel that you're having, being a multimillionaire, and probably one of the better hotels in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, granted, they don't have Four Seasons, they don't have, the biggest of the hotels down there. Yeah, they don't have that, but yet you gonna sit up here and try to tell us they don't, you gonna try to tell us that you struggling and being like you was homeless in this thing? Come on, fam. Let's be real. Let's be real. Come on, man. That's not a struggle. That wasn't a struggle for y'all. Really? Y'all got real folk around this country, real folk around, even in Greenville, even coming to your church, that is struggling to pay rent on time. That is basically one paycheck from being kicked out. There's probably some folk within that 5-month time been evicted in your congregation, but you talking like y'all struggling in a hotel. Come on, fam. Come on. That stuff ain't right. That ain't right. That ain't right to put that out on us on this. And then you struggling, but still had enough to sit up there to buy a $200,000 Lamborghini Osis or whatever the car is called. See, this is where the disconnect is, folk, with these preachers. They sitting up here giving us 1% problems when folk is sitting up here struggling. You got grandma sitting up there debating whether they're going to eat this month or buy their life-sustaining pills. You got single mothers that's sitting up here trying to figure out a way to sit up there to figure out how to keep their lights on. But you sitting up here saying you struggling in a hotel. Come on. Revolution. This is Brother Leonard, the Truth Seeker. Thank you for viewing this video. If you like this video, let me know by leaving a comment and clicking that like button. Also, if you do like what I do, please subscribe to this channel and share this video and others on my channel on your social media. If you want more information on what we do within the Church Folk Revolution, go to facebook.com/the Church Folk Revolution, all one word, the Church Folk Revolution, and join the movement. Once again, this is Brother Leonard, the Truth Seeker. Revolution.